Hi, this is Margaret from dataminingdna.com. I'm going to show you how often do you get new DNA matches. Is it daily, every couple of days, weekly? The shared DNA filter here, if you expand the filter, that is your total count of matches. So how often should I see this number tick upwards? Ancestry doesn't show you a history of the rate of increase of your DNA matches. So really the only way to measure it is to keep checking back on this count to see when it changes. Now, you probably haven't done that because it's very tedious. Good news is I've done it for you. In order to calculate the rate then of increase, I didn't want to use my own kit. I wanted to use a kit that I manage has got a lot more DNA matches, so I should see how often they trickle in. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but I'm going to use a big kit and therefore it's not going to be representative of yours, you might have 30 or 40,000 DNA matches. The second part of this video, I look at the average rate of increase across 10 different kits. You can take a look at the three or four that are round about your count, and you can kind of set your own expectations. So I wanted to take a large kit, but that was kind of representative of most Ancestry customers. So what I've taken is a fairly sizable kit. He's about 90,000 matches at 8 centimorgan and above. This person's great-great-grandparents were born in the United States, which is why they have quite a lot of matches, purely because of the customer demographic base of Ancestry. So I ran this test in terms of monitoring this on the 3rd of February 2021. I started at about 10 a.m. And this was the total number of matches for that particular kit when I pulled up that total. And if you're thinking, well, actually I said 90,000, but that's a whopping 163,000, it's because in my presentation I adjusted to exclude the matches at 6 centimorgan and 7 centimorgan, which brings that person down to about 90k. I just didn't bother doing the adjustment here. Doesn't really matter. All I want to see is this number go up, all right? Because I'm not actually looking at percentages here. I'm just looking at when did this particular DNA kit get a new match. So 10 a.m., then 11 a.m., numbers the same. Then I took a little break and I checked at about 2 p.m. and whoa, wait, it's actually gone down. See, it's gone down by one person, right? What's going on here? Well, it's clear that either two things have happened. Either a particular DNA match of this person has chosen to remove themselves from the Ancestry DNA matching feature. The other possibility is that the kit owner inadvertently hid the DNA match, and you can fix that. Put a link in the description below to this article where I'm explaining why your Ancestry matches can disappear, and if you've done it yourself, how to fix your own mistakes. So that's actually down one, which is not really what I'm looking for, so I'll just keep going. An hour later, still same number, jumped down to about 6 p.m, same. And now that was about 11 o'clock, right? 11 p.m. And then just after midnight, so ticking over 5 minutes after midnight, I checked and the count had gone up by 2. The thing that came to mind was, well, is this some kind of mass update that ran at midnight, and at 5 minutes past midnight, I get to see it? And does every customer suddenly get new matches at midnight GMT? The answer is no. So I took a break in terms of I went to bed, and then at 9 a.m. I check again, no change. And then at 5:30, there was 3 new matches. Checked again at 10:30, so 5 hours later, and I'd actually got quite a decent increase with this particular kit. So what we have here is 24 new matches. I was watching that midnight number later on, and there was no change. I checked at about 5 to midnight, 5 past midnight, 10 past midnight, and that number stayed the same. So my conclusion on that is that Ancestry updates DNA matches at least once daily. And for this person who has quite a lot of matches anyway, within a 24-hour period, it updated 3 times. So, I mean, the obvious thing to point out here, these are most likely to be those low range matches, the 10 centimorgans, the 14 centimorgans, and you may not care about those, particularly if you have a lot of matches. I'm just answering the question is how often it updates. So the second part of my test is to cover off the objection, well, that's this guy, a lot of matches, but you may only have 10,000, so what about yourself? So what I did was I took a look at 10 different kits. I actually checked 10 kits every second day over 6 days. And then in the numbers I'm going to show you, I've actually taken out the 7 and 8 centimorgans level. So 10 kits, I've put them in order of ascending number of total matches of 8 centimorgan and above. So they're ranging from 2 below 10,000. You've got these in the teens, 2 around 45,000, and then you've got these 2 large kits. So 25th of Jan, these are the counts. 2 days later, these counts, and you can immediately see that over a 2-day period, they all went up. 2 days later, again about the same time, 10 a.m., again, we see the jump. What I'm looking at here is, this is the total gain over the 4 days. Here, that's just the average, so I'm just literally dividing this number by 4. So if I'm just going to extrapolate back, I know that Ancestry updates their DNA matches at least daily. Then we can say that the average gain per day for these kits, people below 10,000 are getting a handful of DNA matches per day. Then we've got the teens, not a whole lot more. And now, as you can see, we're getting into bigger numbers per day. All I'm doing here is I just want to give people an idea. They can look at their own kit, look at their own total number, compare it to one of these and see, okay, this is what I can expect to come in. So again, you may be thinking, well, yeah, but I actually want to know how many, what Ancestry calls fourth cousins and above they get. Well, you can run your own little calculation. So this person has a total of 46,000 DNA matches, of which 2,500 are close. So I'm just going to get the percentage. It's about 5%. And we've got about 46k matches. Take a little look at my table. These two are so similar, but there's a fair bit of difference between in terms of how many they gain. Between 19 and 28, we'll say, oh, it's okay, it's about 25 gains per day. And if I'm at 5% of close matches and I have this hypothetical 25 gains per day, 5% of 25 is 1.25, around about 1/4 cousin or closer match per day. Whereas down here, if you're one of these kits and let's say you've got 5 DNA matches per day and you're kind of looking at your percentage of close matches, and again, let's say it's about 5%, not going to bother checking. So that gives you about a quarter of a match, of a close match per day. So they should be trickling in every 4 days. Okay, it's all hypothetical, and by the way, not a scientific study, of course. These are 10 kits. Most of these individuals' kits are people in the United States. So don't bother taking a screenshot of this because I have it all detailed in an article that you can read at your leisure. Here's the article. I'll just scroll down to get to the numbers. I referred in the video about adjusting these totals to only be matches at 8 centimorgan and above. You may or may not need to know about this. It should all be clearly explained in this section here. Okay, I hope that helps and best of luck with your research.